Welcome to Hancock's VMware Half Hour, and welcome back to another Hancock's VMware Half Hour. Well, you find me Saturday afternoon at the end of November, on the 29th of November, in North Yorkshire on another very wet day. It's been raining on and off all week, really, to be honest with you. It's a bit grim outside. Anyway, so you've got my full attention to return to our slow burn DIY NAS using UnRAID on an Intel NUC Extreme 11th Gen. And in today's very short video, I'm going to pick up on something which I found on Reddit. And I do forget. Tell you what I'm going to do. I'm actually going to go and find his name. I'm going to show the Reddit post. Hang on. Okay, I found it. Power of bookmarks. Anyway, this was JoshTheMoss on Reddit in the Intel NUC forum, channel, whatever you want to call it, group. And he posted, and this was over 2 years ago, but as I actually said to you, you know, these Intel NUCs, the NUC 11 Extreme, you know, they were manufactured in October 2022. But he actually basically posted making use of the free internal USB headers. So I actually basically did a little digging, and JoshTheMoss, he bought an adapter from the company that manufactures these is called dlock.com. And there isn't actually a supplier in the UK. So I actually sourced this from outside of the UK. So just let me turn off. Just looking here at what we've got turned on. Just let me turn too many things. Just let me turn off that. There we go. I'll post this link in the description. I'll also post the links of where I actually basically purchased this item from. Now, you're probably going to ask, well, why are you really doing this? Well, I don't really, as I've mentioned before, and let's see if we can get our HDI webcam on. If I turn on, okay, so here's our NDI camera shot of the Intel NUC. I've taken the liberty to take the back plate off and to take one of the side plates off. I'm sure you've seen me do that a couple of times in the last video. There's not really any point in you looking at that again. Anyway, so this is our cable that we purchased. As you can see, a little bit out of focus maybe. That it has a, I think it's a J Micro 1.25mm plug on one end, and then on the other end it's actually basically got, you know, I'll just take the USB flash drive out. It's got a USB flash drive there, and we're going to basically use, it is a bit strange, just there you can see it. It is a bit strange that is just left flying around inside the case. As I said, JoshTheMoss, he was the guy on Reddit there that 2 years ago, I think he actually spent a bit of time looking through the technical specs and finding out that there was a flying unused cable in the box, which does seem a little bit strange that there would be just a flying cable that goes nowhere in the box. But anyway, our advantage. I've got a metallized Kingston Traveller USB 3, which my UnRAID is on, and traditionally you would just plug that in the back of the case. I don't really like USB flash drives plugging in the back of the case, only because an idiot will come along like me and go, "What's that?" and unplug it. And UnRAID requires this basically to boot the operating system. So I'm going to hide this inside the box. I think it looks a little bit cleaner. I've wrapped around some Kapton tape. I was going to heat shrink it. I think in one of the previous videos I turned around and said that I was looking through my garage for some heat shrink. I did find some heat shrink, but then I actually basically thought it might be a bad idea heating up this metallized flash drive. So I wrapped it in Kapton tape. only because I don't really want it to I don't really want it really to touch something and short something out inside the NUC here. There isn't really anywhere to sort of kind of stash it to stop it doing that, really. Not that I'm going to rattle this around. Anyway, so today's video effectively is to connect that end into here. So what I might do, I'm wondering really, what I might do, I might actually basically move the camera. So, yeah, you know, do you really want to watch me do it? I'll tell you what, I'll just fumble around in here and plug this in, and then I'll show you it plugged in afterwards. And as I said, it doesn't really help having fat fingers. And I think realistically that we are looking at plugging it in that way. There we go. So just let me, there we go. So there's our USB flash drive, and probably just going to chuck it down there like that. So there's a bit of wire there, really. I don't think it's going to fall out and touch. Anyway, so that's it. In part, I think this is part 5 of our homebrew NAS, our NUC 11 Extreme, using UnRAID. So the fun starts because we do have, I'm just going to move off my desk over here. So come back in part 6, because thanks to Amazon Friday, as I suspected, our NVMe disks were discounted. So we bought a handful. We got 4 for this. We've got a lot of others for some other projects. So we've purchased 4 terabyte SSD 990 Pro NVMe sticks. None of them have heat sinks, because heat sinks aren't really going to fit in this. So come back in part 6, because we're going to fit 2 of these back into our NUC 11 Extreme. Now, one of them actually basically is an easy access because it's actually on the bottom of the device. The other one, we've got to take that wretched compute board apart again and drop that in one of the slots. Anyway, so that's it for this video. So again, thanks very much for joining me, Andrew Hancock, at Hancock's VMware Half Hour on a very rainy afternoon in North Yorkshire in the United Kingdom. If you've enjoyed this video, then don't forget to thumbs up, like, subscribe and share. And again, be well, stay alive, and be kind and work hard out there. Okay, good afternoon and goodbye.